What's up, guys? Shyly Playable here. We're doing a quick deck profile for you. Just something we've been testing around with. We think that might have possibly a competitive future coming up here in future formats. All right, so it's going to be pure blue. We got Hanzo and Tux. So we did also mess around with Hanzo Kite. A lot of good features about that deck, using Rhino to manipulate your instacast stun units and whatnot. But just the Tux stun is super important, really, to the Penguin archetype. So first, I'll go into the one-drop penguins. A little controversial. I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but we do 3 of the penguin pupil. The main point is that you want to have slightly useful penguins and a good chance of hitting Hanzo. So for anybody that doesn't know, whenever you stun a unit, you put the top card out of your deck under Hanzo, and if it's a penguin, you draw a card. You can take 2 and put them on the top or bottom in any order, any cards under it, to stun a tower for that turn. So it's an instacast. The only real time I've had this come up was I went first, played a shard, didn't draw anything, and then on the second turn drew it, so I could play before it charged. But in general, it's a penguin that you can use to be hitting Hanzo, and it can break the wind tower and poke at other towers. Alright, next one, we got Conran. So he stuns anything 1 or less, and if your opponent is a stunned unit, he has instacast. So you can manipulate him against aggro decks very easily. He's a good target for ASB. If you have this in ASB and you're trying to stun a big board or stop a big board, you can play the 1, stun the thing, and then on their turn, ASB it back to your hand and shard drain and put one of their units on top of their deck, and you'll have this as an instacast to stun another card. Alright, next one is Ronin. So when your opponent has a stun unit, he gets plus 1,000 and Guardian. So what's really good with this is having it with, like, say, Shuriken, which is it's in here later. It's a 2-cast, insta-cast, stuns a unit. So having something like this, if they had 2 units out, its best utility is going to be, say they swing with 1 unit, you allow them to enter the priority step. After combat, unit exhausts, and then you try to stun their other unit, and then you'll go into Guardian step and be able to block this. And it didn't originally in Guardian, but now you hit the window where it does. So, big thing about this deck is it definitely has a skill ceiling that I've noticed a lot. It's really easy to play this deck badly. So I think really people who are able to play this deck to full potential have a good understanding of how the game works. So it's just about hitting those small windows where you're going to get the most card advantage out of anything, which is generally the best way to play any blue deck. So the next thing is Kyudo. So he is a 2-drop 1,500. He gets plus 1,000 when your opponent has a stun unit, and whenever he attacks, you can destroy a stun unit. So big hitter here. Honestly, he's one of the main things I'm hitting towers with, because very commonly I'll stun units on their turn, and then I'll draw stun a tower, swing at that stun tower with this, and then destroy whatever I had stunned on their turn. Arguably with the best penguin. 3-drop instacast. He stuns a target unit that came into play that turn, and then you draw a card as long as he does stun it. So it's really good for Liam decks, anything that does quickness. I know the dinosaur deck does Destroyosaurus, so there's stuff like that. I don't think Kadir really has any quickness in it, but anyways, any other decks, maybe they're playing Watchwomen's, stuff like that. I do play 1 Pengyro, so it's not as useful as a lot of the other ones, but I still think it is decent. It's good to push your 1-drop out that stuns their 1-drop units on their turn. If they don't already have a stun unit, so you can't instacast this. It's good to push it out, and it makes this cheaper to play. The main reason I like it is it sets you up for putting this out and then them putting themselves in a position where they try to destroy it, and then you can use its ability to replace it with a penguin. 3 Snowtop Elemental is very basic. It stuns a unit on arrive. It's the key point of the deck. You need to stun. You want to be hitting Hanzo as much as you can. I think we have like 17, I want to say 16 penguins? Yeah, we got 16 penguins, so that is a little less than a half chance of hitting a Hanzo. Initially, there are definitely ways to manipulate your draws with Hanzo. That's what I think is great about the deck, and it's another thing that adds onto that skill ceiling. 3 visitors. I think visitors of 3 of is super important in this. The main reason I play Tux is obviously getting the stuns to stop your opponents from attacking is big, but at the same time, When you stun boards of units, you trigger Hanzo once for every single unit that was stunned, and honestly, that's huge. So to be able to manipulate that is really big. So before I go into like spells, what I mean with manipulating with Hanzo is he lets you arrange the top card of your deck essentially by putting the 2 on top. So it's really good. I think a good way to do it, like a common play, would be say it's on their turn and you go to stun a unit on their turn. Say you have Water Shuriken and you want to Tux on your turn. Or say, even better, say it's like your turn, you have Snowtop Elemental, right? So you can play the Snowtop Elemental, stun a unit, and then use Hanzo's ability to put 2 cards under him. So say you put like, I don't know, this and then like a Visitor under it. So you put the Penguin on top that you want. So then you use his ability once you stun the unit to put these on top. So then when Hanzo ability triggers, you'll guarantee that there's a Penguin going under, and you'll draw that Visitor that was under him. And then you could do that. You could do that multiple times theoretically. Say you are going to break a tower on your turn, you go and you put like say Visitor and Penguin on top of your deck with Penguin on top, and then you stun the tower, you break the tower, pass. And then on their turn, say they have 3 units, and then you go to Tux stun their 3 units. So Hanzo's going to go under the queue 3 times. So then the first time you already guarantee that there's a Penguin. So then Penguin gets flipped up, goes under Hanzo, you draw, say, Visitor. And then, I don't know, say you have Snowtop Elemental, and now you also have the Penguin under there. And then, so before you go to resolve your second Hanzo, you can just randomly stun a tower. I know you're not going to be able to destroy it and get that advantage, but you're guaranteeing draw advantage, because you could go to stun the tower again before the second Hanzo resolves, putting the Penguin on top again, so the Penguin will go under Hanzo, and you'll draw another card that was under Hanzo. And so, it lets you just manipulate your draws, because there, at that point, you're stunning 3 units, but you've guaranteed yourself that you're going to hit Hanzo at least 2 of the 3 times, which is a guaranteed 2 draws. And the fact is you're getting to decide those draws by putting stuff like Visitor, Chronostasis, good spells, or other units under the Hanzo that you want to have in your hand. Okay, spells. 3 Cryo Strike. So this stuns 2-drop or less units, and then it destroys units with 2-drop or less that were already stunned. Alright, Ancient Serpent's Breath, self-explanatory. And then 3 Glacial Shuriken. So stun target unit, very plain and simple. It's a 2-drop insta-cast, feeds directly into the point of it, and there's no cost limit on this, so you can just stun blatantly any unit. Which it is really good on things that have like activated abilities that attempt to save themselves. Like I know Juggernaut's a big one where it's not technically a trigger ability for it to save itself. So if you like Tux stun their board and then you have something like Kyudo that swings in, you can use him to destroy the Juggernaut, and since he's stunned, he won't be able to save himself. 3 Phantasmal Storms, 3 Mizus, and last but not least, 3 Chronostasis. So I feel like the Chronostasis is super important because you can stun your opponent's units all day and everything, and honestly there are definitely games where you're going to win just by constantly stunning their board and doing Visitor over and over again while you stun their towers and break their towers so they don't get abilities off of Hanzo. But ultimately, while they're pushing more units at you while you're stunning them, you need an end game to really get rid of them. So having the 3 Chronostasis really seals that up. I would like to find room to test stuff like the Tidal Rush, because I do feel like the Tux stun is really important, but I also feel like 3 ASB, 3 Mizu, and 3 Visitor does get me enough of the Tux stun, because I feel Tux stunning 3 or 4 times a game really is your limit, especially like, I mean theoretically, I know it's not a huge chance, but like say you stun a board of 5 drops, that's 5 to 10 cards off of the top of your deck. And so you could really get close to decking out there. I know you can put them on top still to like mitigate that, but you really don't want to be running out of card advantage. But yeah, that is the deck. So thanks for watching.